Thank you. His Excellency President, Vice Chairwoman Kulabator, Governor Bialdra, dear colleagues and friends, good morning. So I'm here delivering the speech on behalf of Mr. Augustine Customs, General Manager of the Bank for International Settlement. He supposed to come over here to deliver the speech himself, but for other commitment he couldn't come, but they asked me to deliver the speech for him. So on behalf of him, I would like to warmly congratulate Bank of Mongolia for its centenaries. 100 years of central banking is a great achievement to be celebrated upon and the BIS is delighted to be part of the gatherings to celebrate the occasions. Like many central banks, the Bank of Mongolia has seen its share of challenges since the very beginning, including stabilizations of its banking systems, transitionings from one economic system to another, while coping with constant external shocks. The Bank of Mongolia has seized the opportunities offered by changes in environment, behaviors, and technologies and transformed itself. Congratulations. So looking back at the history of central banking and draw lessons from the past can often provide useful guidance what and how we can do better in the future. This is particularly relevant in today's world where central banks are operating in an increasingly complicated environment, which was characterized by tremendous challenges from climate change, geopolitical tensions, to how best to harness the new technologies. As we gather here to celebrate the 100 years birthdays of the Bank of Mongolia, I'm sure we will take another look at what lessons we can learn for modern central banking. Allow me to offer a few observations here to contribute to the discussion. Looking at the global economy today, it seems poised for a smooth landing. Inflation in general continues its descent towards central banks' targets, and activities in general remains resilient. At the same time, the global financial system appears to have adjusted smoothly to higher inflation rate. Remember, only a year ago, these outcomes were far from assured. Central banks have acted decisively in response to these historic challenges. As a result, the financial system has remained stabilized in times of financial crisis, and inflation has been prevented from becoming entrenched. While welcoming all of these positive developments, it is too soon to declare victory. Several important pressure points remain, which could derail the smooth landing. These include persistent inflationary forces, macro financial vulnerabilities, physical trajectories including high public debt, and low productivity growth. High for long interest rates could still be necessary, which tests the economic and financial system resilience. On top of this, we are also facing continued uncertainties from geopolitical tensions. Tailwinds of the globalizations has turned into headwinds of deglobalizations, or slow globalizations, or re-globalizations, or whatever you call it.
These represent structural changes to a world with high inflation, high debt, and possibly low growth. At the same time, we are also experiencing a digital revolution. Digital advances have reshaped the financial systems, and of course the financial services have become more user-friendly, affordable, and accessible. Safe and efficient cross-border payment can offer benefit to all, particularly emerging market and developing economies, through lower cost, faster speed, greater transparencies, and improved access. Given central banks are the issuers of money and overseers of payment, they have important role to play. They need to balance between safeguarding the safety and integrity of the financial system and not stifling innovations. And of course, at the BIS, and together with various committees, we are hosting, including the committees on payments and market infrastructures. We contributed to the G20 cross-border payment work from its start and plays important roles in the programs as we recognized that digital revolutions could fundamentally reshape and change financial system. On monetary policies, a key, though not really new lessons we have drawn is that monetary policy is a powerful tool. Recent events have confirmed once more that decisive monetary tightening can preempt a transition to a high inflation regime. We have also seen how forceful actions by central banks during stress episodes, including the most recent stresses in March 2023, can stabilize the financial system and prevent disinflationary spirals. An experience of emerging market economies has shown how the use of the foreign exchange intervention and prudential measures can help to improve policy trade-offs. And increasingly, this has become part of the policy toolkit of central banks, particularly in emerging markets. But recent decades have also revealed monetary policy's limits. Exceptionally strong and prolonged monetary easings has diminishing returns and brought to limit and unintended consequences as well. It cannot fine-tune inflations in the low inflation regimes, and unwelcome and persistent side effects have indeed contributed to the recent inflation flare-up. Meanwhile, the proliferations of monetary policy instruments, as well as unrealistic expectations about what they can deliver, including the misperceptions that central banks can be relied on to proper economic growth through extended period of accommodative monetary policies, have complicated the communications. So all of these lessons has been drawn, and I'm sure through these days' discussions in this conference, our colleagues and friends on central banks will have a lot to share among themselves about their experience. So let me conclude here. Lessons from the turbulence period in the past 2 decades point to the power, but also review the limits of the monetary policies. It is an effective tool to deliver low inflation and stabilize the financial system in times of crisis. But monetary policies should not and cannot be relied upon as engines of economic growth on its own. Other policies, including fiscal and structural ones, will have to step in to ensure sustainable economic growth, propel green transitions, and adapt
to the vast advances of technologies. So as we gathered here today in Ulaanbaatar to celebrate the 100 years birthdays of the Bank of Mongolia and discuss challenges facing the central banks looking ahead, we hope some of these lessons learned from history can help us provide some of the useful guidance to the futures of the central bankings in the years ahead. So once again, happy 100 years birthdays to colleagues of the Bank of Mongolia, and I wish the conference a great success. Thank you.